What's good, you guys? It's your girl Sarah.
And mine.
And we're trying to dangerous.
You know, because we're charming.
And we're dangerous. Ooh, your girls are back.
Yeah. We
How's
back.
it going?
We feeling
how you
good.
doing?
How you doing?
We're
We
about
missed
to
you.
give you some tips on how to stop self-sabotaging,
Yes.
which I feel like no matter where you are in your life, you probably need this advice.
Yeah. I feel like everybody self-sabotages at some point in their life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody goes through this.
Everybody does, and which is why we're talking about it. So no matter where you are in your life, if you're single, not single, going after your dreams, not going after your dreams, whatever it may be, this is the advice for you. So keep watching. But before we get into it, we would love it if you lovely people would subscribe down below. Your girls over here, your besties.
Hi.
We talk about anything we really want to talk about,
Damn
such as
straight.
astrology, healing, spirituality, life advice, how-to videos, all this fun shit. So if you're about it, subscribe. And now on to the video. Okay, so Maya, what's your first tip? How can people stop self-sabotaging?
Yes, I feel like I need to start off by saying I'm really excited to be talking about this. Because like I said in the intro of this video, like everybody engages in some self-sabotage from time to time.
Yeah.
You know, and I've definitely engaged in it a lot in my past. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I still do. You know, like I still want to blow
Human.
shit up. You know, we're human.
Just to fuck it up, just to see what
Just to
happens.
fuck it up, just to see if you really care about me and
That's
shit.
so problematic.
No, but
That's
that's
but
exactly
it's the
what
truth.
it is.
We keep it real on this channel.
Exactly. And to me, self-sabotaging ultimately means you're going against your wants, your values, and not fulfilling your desires and dreams, you know?
Yeah.
It's certain behaviors or thought patterns that keep you from doing what you ultimately want to do. And I think we self-sabotage because then at least the result is in our control. You know what I mean? It's in our hands. And most people like to feel like they're in control in some type of way, you know? But to me, ultimately, you're disappointing yourself at the end.
Yeah.
And only you when you self-sabotage. How you feel about it?
I feel like I agree. I feel like the first thing you need to do, first of all, is just get to the root of it. You know, like, why are you self-sabotaging? Do you feel guilty for wanting them, whatever it is? Do you feel like maybe you don't deserve it? Are you scared of your own potential? Scared of investing in something or someone and then failing at it? All of these are very possible, you know,
and valid
fears
feelings,
to have.
fears.
Yeah, when it comes to your life. But at the end of the day, after you get to the root of it, you can finally start to fix it. You know, you can tell yourself, whether it be through affirmations or journaling, all the reasons why you deserve it. I feel like that's so important. You need to know why you think you deserve it. And I promise you, you deserve it. You just need to know yourself that you do.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, no, for
Because
sure.
like, we don't see this in other people when they're self-sabotaging, because we look at our friends, family, whatever, we're like, you deserve that job. You deserve to be in a healthy relationship. But our trauma makes us sometimes believe that we don't. Even though we very much do. I mean, being happy is your birthright. Being in a healthy relationship is your birthright. Being successful is your birthright. You just deserve that just by being you. But when we go through our pain and our triggers and our past experiences that were negative, we have this, you know, preconceived notion of what life is supposed to be, and that it's supposed to be hard. And it's like, that's not the case. It could be easy. You deserve the easy route. So yeah, I just feel like you need to watch out with that whole deserve thing, because you will burn whatever that is to the ground before it even has an opportunity to fully manifest in your life.
Yeah.
And like Maya said, that's not hurting anybody but you. You know what I mean? Like, everybody else is going after what they want. Even if it's the wrong thing, they're going after it. And then there's you, who's just sitting back, self-sabotaging, and all of your opportunities are just flying by because you don't allow yourself to fully be in it, be in that experience, be in that relationship.
It's like you're cutting all of these experiences short. You know what I mean? Because you're not allowing yourself to figure it out. You know what I mean? Figure out what's going on. And I agree. You have to get to the root of the problem. At the end of the day, we self-sabotage because it's fulfilling something for us. You know what I mean? It gives a sense of like relief or like anxiety, like de-stress, you know? And you have to figure out what it is that you're supplementing for that. Otherwise, you will continue to keep yourself from happy things in life, all the good things, good relationships, great jobs, you know what I mean? Like happy friendships. You can self-sabotage in so many different parts of your life, not just relationships.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like people forget that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Anything that you feel like you don't deserve, you're sometimes going to self-sabotage. And that can be an area of your life.
Keyword deserve. It's scary though, because it's like you think you don't deserve it for some reason. Everybody has told you, a lot of people in your life maybe told you that you don't deserve this.
Yeah, you need
know?
to get those thoughts out of your mind. And sometimes we don't even remember that certain people have told us such negative things from our childhood. But that's really your brain protecting itself from the hurt it went through when you were very, very young and impressionable. You know, so you need to sit down. That's why I say you need to journal. You need to do some sort of exercise where you're thinking about these things. It's going to be hard, but that's what shadow work is.
Exactly.
It's ultimately going to get you to a better place in life. You just have to be ready for that negative experience when you're reliving the past for a little bit so you can finally flourish in the future. But if you just choose to close the door on your past and not think about it, and you have all these skeletons in your closet, you're never really going to reach your full potential.
No, it's true.
Because you're always scared of this boiling over.
It's true.
You know?
And I feel like when you self-sabotage, like you're living and working off of insecurities that other people have given to you. You know what I mean? Like you have to do that shadow work.
It's not your reality.
Exactly, to let that go, because that's really not even things that you felt coming into this life. It's other things people have projected on you.
Yeah, people that were, usually it's older people, and that's because older people have already experienced their pain, so now they're telling you to be careful, and you didn't even know that that was going to be your journey, but because they talked to you about it so much, you almost assume that that's what's going to happen to you, and then you manifest it, because what you think about is what you are. Yeah, I feel like I agree with you too when it comes to the power thing. I feel like when we self-sabotage, we do take that power back and kind of convince ourselves that we didn't even want it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, it's really easy to play it like that every time something bad happens to you. Every time there's a disappointment. It's so easy to be like, well, I didn't even want it. It's like, that's just your ego talking, like you did want it. You know what I mean? But what kind of life are you living if you could just blame everything on, oh, I don't want it that bad anyway?
Yeah.
Like, so you're not passionate about anything, you don't really want anything, like, that's not living to me. That's me thinking that you just gave up.
Yeah.
Like, at a certain point, I feel like, I hope it clicks for some people that like, there are certain things in life I want and I'm gonna go after it, and I may fail once, twice, whatever, but I'm gonna keep going. And I hope everybody finds that thing for themselves. And no, it's not a person, it's not a relationship.
No.
I just have to say that, just so you don't think it is. Like, keep going after that fuckboy over and over again, you'll get him. No, that's not what I'm saying. Your passion project is not a fuckboy.
No, it's not a person in general, okay?
At all.
Never. No.
Just have to say that.
Stop that. My second tip on, how to stop self-sabotaging is get comfortable with the uncomfortable. In order to form new habits, you have to work through that temporary emotional discomfort. You know what I mean? Before you get your happy ending. Change is always going to happen, and you are always going to have to be restating your boundaries with people. You know what I mean? So you might as well get comfortable doing so. And I especially say that because I feel like when I was young, and I'm sure a lot of people still feel this way, it's like, oh, well, people can read my mind, right? And it's like, no, that's rude of you. Like, be mature enough to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, because your people will be accepting of that. You know what I mean? Be mature to say, this is how I'm feeling. You know? Because you deserve that.
Then, like, that's accountability too. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you do say it, someone can throw it back in your face and say, well, this is what you said, but it's like, at least you said it with your whole chest, you know? When you're playing it cool all the time and not saying what you want, no one can really hold you accountable. But also, you're not getting what you want because you're not expressing it. So it's like, what do you really want? And if it's something you want, even if people don't like it, at least you said it and you can make your case for it. You know, like, those are the people I respect. At least they're willing to say something. Like, I may not agree with you, but at least you said it. You know?
And I'm going to generally be more accepting of your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go out of my way to be accommodating because you said, this is my boundary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you had the courage to say, this is what I want. And that's really ultimately like what is happening when you self-sabotage. You know what I mean? You're afraid to really say what you want out of a relationship or from somebody.
Yeah,
you know,
from
you're
any,
scared.
it could literally be any relationship. It doesn't even have to be something deep. Like, it could literally be your waiter. You don't like something, but you ordered it. But you're choosing not to say anything because you don't want to, you know, come off like too aggressive or anything. But you're self-sabotaging because now you're paying for a service that you're not enjoying. You know?
You paid $30 for a meal that you didn't even like.
And you're going to leave having a bad impression, but you didn't do anything about it. That's self-sabotage. I also feel like when we self-sabotage, we try and control the timing of things.
Oh.
Maybe you weren't expecting to land your dream job so soon or find your perfect match after a really messy breakup. So you start self-sabotaging because you're scared you're not really ready for it.
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh.
I feel like now you're like actually messing with the timing of the universe. The timing that was made perfectly for you, but you got in your own way. The universe was like, hey, it's your time to shine. You're like, nah.
Like, I don't know about that.
Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. This might have been the one thing that is gonna push you to that next level of your life, but because you're being insecure, you're self-sabotaging. I feel like if you train your mind to be more adaptable and open to change, you'll be more courageous. And honestly, the more courage you have in life, the less likely you'll self-sabotage.
Yes.
You know?
100%. It's like, it comes from knowing yourself and feeling confident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it goes back to our first point. You have to know where this is stemming from. You know what I mean? Like, what is this serving? So you can get to the root of it and figure out what you really want. You know what I mean? Because self-sabotaging, like I said, is keeping you from what you ultimately want in this life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? In any shape or form of the sense.
Ultimately, stop playing it cool.
Yeah. You know? Don't be afraid to say what you want. Because
Go
the people...
after it, be bold, be courageous. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Because the people who fuck with you are going to fuck with you anyways. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to scare anybody off that isn't for you. You know?
And if you do scare people off, good. This was a good way to get rid of the people that weren't supposed to be there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The sooner it happens, the easier. Promise you that.
Yes. And I feel like I want people to find confidence in that. Like, okay, you know, you didn't like me, but like I still got it going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, find confidence in the fact that like, hey, I figured out that this person isn't for me and now I can keep it pushing.
Yeah, and you can
You know?
make room for someone else that is. But if you just keep holding on to people because you're scared of losing people or you feel like that's a reflection on you, you're never gonna have the right people in your life because you're always holding on to these dead-end relationships and dead-end friendships that are literally going nowhere. And what? There's people out here that are really gonna treat you right, be the bestest friend they can to you, or be the perfect job for you, but you're not letting go of the dead weight.
Mm-hmm.
That's self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm. And it's like we said, you have to be open to change. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. My next point on this is speak positively to yourself if you don't already, and set time out each day or week or month or whatever for some self-reflection. You need to be spending time with yourself, with you, to figure out why you're self-sabotaging. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be easy, but the most successful people in life think before they move, you know what I mean, and take responsibility for their actions. And I know you want to be that way too. So like, set that time out for yourself and speak more kindly to yourself too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a huge factor in self-sabotaging. Like, we're so mean to ourselves when we're doing it.
Yeah. Again, it comes from a voice that we probably heard when we were younger. So now we literally repeat that same voice in our heads, but that's not your own voice. That's something you heard when you were really, really young. Promise you, we need to get to the root of this voice in our head, this negative voice. And we need to get rid of it and yeah, just start living our life with courage. Courage that you've always had since you were born. But again, the story you were told about what this life is so skewed and so wrong that you can't help but believe it, you know? And you can't help but look at life from a negative perspective.
It's like you've thought it for so long, thought this thing
It's
for so
so hard
long.
to change it. It's not easy.
No, not at
you
all.
owe it to yourself to change it.
100%. And it's hard to like dig deep to find where it really stems from, you know what I mean? But it's worth it at the end of the day.
It is.
You won't unlearn it until you do.
And you won't really be aligned with your life's purpose until you do. And I know you want to be aligned with your life's purpose. That's probably what you think about every day. What am I meant to do here?
Right. What's the meaning of life?
Yeah. You'll find out once you let go of that dark shit.
Yes.
Okay, another thing is, I feel like if you're the type to feel guilty whenever something good happens to you, you probably also love self-sabotaging. My whole thing is, we need to stop dimming our light just to blend in. You know, that is the worst kind of self-sabotage.
Yes.
You're like, you know what, I'm not gonna do the most because I don't want people to look at me. I don't want people to think I want to stand out. We need to get this idea that like being confident is arrogance out of our heads. You know, be boldly yourself at all times so you attract the right people in your life. Like we were previously mentioning, you want to make sure that you're yourself all the time so when people see you and they see you doing your thing, they're attracted to who you really are. If you're out here pretending to be quiet or pretending to be whatever, honestly, those type of people that are like-minded or, you know, like the fake you will be attracted to you. And then at a certain point, the real you will come out and you won't have anything in common with those people. You need to be yourself at all times, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like too, then you know that they're really loving on you for you. Like, why are you trying to project this image of yourself that you think is like perfect when you really know who you are? You know what I mean? I feel like it goes back to that insecurity that people have pushed on us. Like, we're trying to paint this picture for other people.
That
and it's
we're perfect.
like, who cares? Why don't you just be you and be happy and say what you feel, and the people who love you are going to come to you. They're going to flock to you. You know what I mean?
It's easier that way too. You don't waste your time trying to convince someone that you've known for a long time who you really are, because you weren't really being you at the beginning.
Right.
You know? It's a waste of time.
You don't need to convince somebody to love you. You're lovable just the way you are. Like Sarah said in the beginning of this video, it's your birthright to be loved on, to have all the amazing things. Okay? So don't think otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Okay, my last point on this is set goals, stick to them, and find your voice through the process. Like I said, when you self-sabotage, you're ultimately just betraying you, like nobody else, just you. And you have to live with yourself at the end of every night. You know what I mean? Like, we can have partners, but at the end of the day, we die alone. So you should be true to your own feelings and values. You know what I mean?
We do die alone.
You know, and I feel like I want you all to get serious about what really makes you unhappy in life. And I feel like those are the easiest things to cut first. A lot of people are like, well, what's my life's purpose? What really makes me happy? You know, that may take a little bit more time to figure out, but cut what makes you unhappy first, because you know what makes you unhappy, right? So like, get rid of that first, and your relationships and work and everything else will be better afterwards. You know, like, you'll start
time
finding
for the good things.
Exactly. You'll find your life's purpose through that, but first you need to cut all the bad stuff. And don't be afraid to do it.
And honestly, I feel like some people, this isn't for everyone, but I know there's some people who like to keep themselves busy with like people, events, projects, and a lot of those things maybe they don't like, but it's their way of keeping themselves busy so they don't overthink. What are you running away from when it comes to your thoughts? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, fine, now you have a little bit of free time because you're not hanging out or working on projects you don't really like. Now is the chance to journal, to meditate, to whatever, to figure out where this negative self-talk comes from. If you're telling yourself, I don't have time to do all that, are you hanging out with people you like 100% of the time?
Right.
Are you doing things you love 100% of the time? I promise you can probably let go of something and make time for something better.
Right. Only takes 5 minutes. Really. Maybe a little more time, but you know what I mean.
Okay, so for my last point, I just want to say, if you're scared of investing in people or things because you're scared of failure, you're holding back your life's potential. A relationship or job that you thought was going to be your forever might end, but that doesn't mean that it was all for nothing. You know, I feel like we get so discouraged when something we love ends, and like it means life is over, and it's like, that's not really what that means. You know, you learn more about the kind of person you are every time a chapter in your life ends. Take those lessons with you to your new relationships and experiences without self-sabotaging and carrying the baggage from your past. I feel like we are so good at being like, well, I can't do this because of that, you know, like that happened and it might happen again now, so I'm not even gonna go there. It's like, that has nothing to do with this. You're literally bringing this baggage from your past and you're literally throwing it onto your new relationship. You're like, here you go. Like, what the fuck? This person did not deserve all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or your friendship, or your job. Like, they don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's you bringing that shit, you know? So you need to deal with that before you go into it. Otherwise, yeah, you are self-sabotaging, and it's not fair to the other party involved. You know?
It's true, and I feel like the other person doesn't even know that this is your issue all the time. You know what I mean? So like, you can kind of fake it till you make it a little bit. You know what I mean? Just like, give yourself that space and believe that you deserve these things at the end of the day. I feel like that's what it really comes back to.
Yeah.
To me. Believe that you deserve it. You fucking deserve it. You deserve it! Because, yeah, we'll self-sabotage till the end of our days if we don't think we deserve it. Alright, y'all, thank you so much for watching our episode on how to stop self-sabotaging. This is going to be a series. We're going to come back with the things, you know what I mean? We have lots of tips and advice on this, so if you liked it, make sure you comment down below. Let us know your feelings. Give us your tips on how, you know, you learn to stop self-sabotaging in this life.
And how you want us to talk about it more in depth
Yeah.
in other videos. Like, what other follow-up questions do you have? Because then that's how we'll, let the series take off.
Yeah, like if you want to hear more about relationships or how it works in work relationships, you know what I mean? Let us know because we can navigate it in that way. Make sure you check out our podcast, okay? That is now live every Wednesday.
Yeah, we changed the posting date to Wednesdays.
So be aware for that. And on our podcast, we pose a question here, we get into it deeper on the podcast. It's really great. We talk about our trauma. We talk about...
It's really great. We talk about our feelings and we talk about our pain and our diet.
And talks like Twitter. Really, whatever we're feeling at the time, we're going to talk about it. So, you ready for the question?
Yes.
The question is, when was the first time you felt yourself self-sabotaging something good in your life?
For the first time.
For the first time. So, if you want to hear our answers on this, make sure you check out the podcast. It will be live on Wednesday. We're going to link our socials somewhere around here. Make sure you follow us on there. We love you guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
We missed you
so much. We back. Okay, so make sure you're checking for us every Monday.
Check on us.
And Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. No, it's actually Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
But if you go on Instagram and Twitter,
we're gonna
post
be on there
all
too.
all the time. So
Anyway,
check in for us. We
love
love you, and we'll see you later.
Bye.